Hi, my name's Denise Stephens. You've kind of covered the bit in terms of what Enabled by Design is. Enabled by Design was inspired by my experiences following a diagnosis of relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis. That's me there, just in case you didn't realise. So it was inspired by my experiences following a diagnosis of relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis, which was in 2003. So I was 24 at the time, and so it was inspired by the change in my health that happened quite quickly within 6 months. MS is a degenerative neurological condition that's unpredictable, variable, and different in each case. And my main symptoms include extreme fatigue, weakness, numbness, visual disturbance, which can be blurred or double vision, poor balance, and my least favourite symptom of all, which is vertigo. So at this time, I was seen by an occupational therapist who recommended a range of assistive technology to help support my needs. But what is assistive technology? So one definition that we have in the UK is assistive technology is any product or service designed to enable independence for disabled and older people. I should quickly point out, in the UK, we use the term disabled people, which it comes from the use of the social model for disability. So a person is seen to be disabled as a result of their actual environment being inaccessible. So it's not actually saying the person is disabled, it's the environment that disables the person. So here are some examples of the assistive technology that I've used over the years, including cutlery with foam-padded handles to help improve grip, a bath board to help me get in and out of the bath more easily, and of course crutches. These are the kind of standard issue NHS ones you get on the NHS. As you can see from the pictures here, they're not the most inspiring or attractive of designs, with plenty of white and grey wipe clean plastic, hence the title, Plastic Not So Fantastic. And you can quickly imagine what it must be like to be surrounded by these sorts of things in your own home. And it's not only me who feels this way. This is Maggie Winchcombe, who's one of the UK's leading occupational therapists. I found it really interesting when I was talking to her, and she told me that she was looking back over some old occupational therapy journals from the 1970s, and she was really shocked to see adverts for products that hadn't really changed in the last 40 years. And this really struck a chord with me, because I certainly can't think of many industries where there's been little or no development or innovation for nearly 4 decades. That's a huge amount of time, especially when you think about what's been going on in the worlds of technology, car design, fashion in the same sort of period of time. This is kind of stagnated and not really changed. Which leads me to my next slide, the battle of the bland. So over time, I found that ugly, clinical-looking assistive technology really started to get me down. Although I was grateful for the fact that it helped to keep my independence, I became frustrated as my home started to look more and more like a hospital. I kept thinking, surely this can't be the way that it has to be. So I started looking for mainstream alternatives that did pretty much the same job. So one example I've got here, instead of the traditional perching stool, which is shown on the left-hand side, I decided to buy myself a bar stool from IKEA. It's got a bent plywood seat and is made from chrome. And I use this in my kitchen to sit on while preparing food and doing the washing up. Although it's not ideal for everybody, it works well for me. It has a stable base, it looks good, and it was affordable too. Often the prices of sort of assistive technology can be quite inflated when you compare them to mainstream alternatives. And so from kind of this experience of kind of sourcing my own mainstream products, and maybe modifying things to make them work better for myself, I became increasingly aware that it could be really useful for people to share their experiences, and they could really learn from others who are going through similar experiences, which is what led me to set up the Enabled by Design website. Here's a screenshot of the front page of the Enabled by Design website. And this is a space for our community to share and discuss good design that supports independent living. Which includes new and innovative designs, as well as the things that don't work particularly well and could really do with being improved or maybe redesigned completely. And so Enabled by Design initially started out focusing solely on products, but over time we've just become really interested in good design in general. And that covers everything from products, services, technology, the built environment and beyond. And we believe that good design we believe that design for all is key to good design. So Design for All is a design philosophy that targets the use of products, services and systems by as many people as possible without the need for adaptation. And here are some of my favourite examples. For example, automatic doors that might make it easier for a wheelchair user to get into a building. But it's also really useful for people who might have their hands full, so they might be pushing a pram, carrying heavy bags, or like myself, using crutches. So it's about sort of designing something that works for a whole range of people for different reasons. But I think it's really important to point out that mass market doesn't automatically mean accessible. This picture shows the Dyson Airblade hand dryer, which you're probably all familiar with. You see them all over the place. But they're not actually that accessible to some wheelchair users. The way the hand dryer works is that you should put your hands in the top and then pull your hands upwards to dry your hands. But that's not particularly easy if you're in a seated position. So I've spoken to some wheelchair users, and they've said that they've had to put their hands in from the side of the hand dryer, and they've ended up with water all running down their arms, which isn't a particularly pleasant experience, and probably not something that maybe the designers thought about when they were designing this. And so over recent years, we've become interested in exploring how we can build on the principles of Design for All, and how we can use things such as new technologies, such as 3D printing, wearables, and smart technology, and things such as the internet. New materials, such as Sugru, which is a plasticine-like material which you can fix to things to modify them and kind of make them easy to use. I think there should be some available for you to have a sort of play with during the Design-athon, so please do have a look. And new ways of working, such as customisation. We have people customising prosthetics with some really interesting results. Customisation or hacking of products. This is a project that I kind of helped matchmake and tried to figure out something to attach to the back of a mobility scooter to transport 2 little boys to school. Crowdsourcing and crowdfunding, which is kind of changing the way that we deliver services and bring products potentially to market. And collaboration, which is bringing together a diverse range of different people to work together to try and solve real world challenges. And so all of these things have kind of made us think, what if? So what would happen if we brought together a range of people, from designers to engineers, and health and social care professionals to people with personal independent living experience. And with kind of the aim of prototyping new products and services that are accessible, functional and desirable to use. And that's exactly why you're all in this room today, hopefully. We really want to create a movement for accessibility for the masses. And we think the Enabled by Design-athon can help us to achieve this, and by getting people sort of on board to do their own events can help to spread the word. So following on from the success of the Enabled by Design-athon to date, Enabled by Design has decided to share the format of the events and the supporting materials through a toolkit that we've developed, as well as sharing it through a Creative Commons license. So you can see on the map we've got a few dates already going on, but in the future we'd love lots more little dots to start springing up. So I'd say if you're interested and would like to run your own Design-athon, please give us a shout. We should be releasing the toolkit sort of shortly, so that'll give people the starting tools to start their own event. So I'd just like to say thank you for listening. Here are my contact details. So I hope you enjoy what the next 2 days has in store for you, and I really look forward to seeing what comes out of the event. And most importantly, have fun. I think this sort of event works best when people are having fun. So